Hey everyone, and welcome. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here for another deep dive in the Explainer. So today we're going to look at some incredibly fascinating insights straight from the experts at Dance Chicago. We're essentially setting the stage to completely reframe how we look at a really popular extracurricular activity, youth ballroom dance. If you're a parent, an educator, or honestly just someone interested in child development, get ready because we're about to unpack how this creative activity is actually a hidden powerhouse for personal growth. Okay, let's just dive right into this. When you hear the words youth ballroom dance, what immediately pops into your head? Right? Maybe you picture sequined costumes, those intense stage lights, or kids just memorizing really fancy choreography. But I want to stop you right there and ask you to rethink what actually happens on that dance floor. What is the true value hiding beneath the music and the movement? You see, usually when we think of youth dance, we kind of just expect the pursuit of fancy steps and glittery trophies. We treat it purely as a performative hobby. But in reality, ask any parent or youth leader, and they'll tell you its greatest value lies entirely beyond the steps. It's literally a masterclass in building discipline, self-control, and real social confidence. And it does all this in a way that remains genuinely engaging and fun for the kids. So to help us understand exactly how this works, here is our roadmap for today. We'll cover beyond the dance floor, building discipline through routine, navigating social rules, regulating emotions and teamwork, and finally, a toolkit for life. All right, kicking things off with building discipline through routine, translating practice into focus. In most youth programs, the lessons aren't just kids running around to music. They actually follow a highly specific anatomy. They start with warm-ups to prep the body, move into technique drills, practice with specific cues, and then finish up with social elements like partnering and group rotations. And you know what? This exact consistency is the secret sauce. By walking through these specific steps class after class, children learn how to manage their time, listen closely for instructions, and just keep practicing a skill until it genuinely improves. Ballroom has very defined patterns, which provides this immediate framework for progress. It's the repetition paired with highly specific, measurable micro goals, things like hold your posture for the full song or complete a turn without losing your balance, that really makes the difference. I mean, think about it. Forcing a group of hyperactive 10-year-olds to hold a rigid frame for 3 whole minutes, that builds some incredible persistence. And here's where it gets really cool. That hyper attention to detail directly translates into their wider world. Instructors place a massive emphasis on tiny changes in posture or rhythm, and that forces children to take feedback seriously. Over time, those exact same mental muscles kick in for everyday habits, like staying focused on a really difficult math problem, diligently preparing for outside activities, or consistently meeting expectations at home. Dance focus literally becomes life focus. Okay, moving right along to our next point, navigating social rules, safe interaction, and etiquette. This brings us to a fascinating concept called the script of dance. Imagine a child who is just naturally shy or anxious. Putting them in a chaotic group setting, that can be absolutely terrifying. But ballroom involves interaction with very clear rules. They learn exactly how to begin, exactly when to switch partners, and exactly what to do next. Knowing this script dramatically reduces social uncertainty. Those structured partner rotations serve as a gentle, predictable pathway to building confidence. It just makes it so much easier for an anxious child to engage with their peers. These programs teach very specific rules of engagement. Kids learn to greet partners appropriately, respect personal space, respond to nonverbal cues, maintain a supportive mindset, and celebrate progress. Partnering requires kids to wait their turn, to listen, and to communicate without even speaking. Notice how these norms foster a low-stakes social environment, one that's focused entirely on empathy and cooperation rather than aggressive competition. Next up, regulating emotions and teamwork, resilience on the dance floor. So, ballroom classes frequently involve performance moments, like having to show a brand new combination to the entire group. Naturally, that can feel incredibly intimidating at first for a child. But here's the thing. Repeated exposure to this mild pressure helps children manage their nerves. It allows coaches to reframe mistakes as just a normal part of learning, teaching kids how to stay perfectly calm and collected when things don't go exactly as planned. And this emotional regulation, it's the absolute foundation of true teamwork. On an individual level, a child is managing their own nerves and taking feedback. But simultaneously, they are dealing with a shared duty to their partner. Even if one is leading and the other following, both have to actively contribute to the team's growth. Kids quickly figure out that progress only happens when everyone stays engaged, supportive, and ready to adjust on the fly. Now, this collaborative dynamic addresses a very common concern. Parents often ask, isn't ballroom dance just way too competitive? Well, the answer for many youth programs is a resounding no. Actually, scratch that, it's a definitive no. They actively choose to focus on friendly milestones and personal growth over high-stress, cutthroat rankings. By placing the emphasis on constructive technique and good manners, the lessons feel supportive rather than stressful. Which brings us to our final section, a toolkit for life, the ultimate payoff. As schools and community organizations constantly search for activities that develop character, ballroom dance truly stands out as a unique blend of discipline and relationship building. Kids are walking away with steady focus, social interaction skills, and a real drive for continuous self-improvement. These are invisible, invaluable tools they are going to carry right into their schooling and friendships long after the music stops. Which leaves us with this final, incredibly important question to ponder. Is your child's hobby actually building their character? When we look past the glitter and the music, we see that activities like ballroom dance are quietly shaping focused, empathetic, and resilient human beings. It's a pretty fascinating reframe, isn't it? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I highly encourage you to keep questioning and exploring the true value behind the activities we choose to pursue. Keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.